I welcome you back to our continuing study in the Gospel of Matthew. In this next portion, we're going to do one more look at Matthew chapter 25. We're going to be looking at verses 31 to 46, and I'll be reading from the New Testament, an American translation by Edgar J. Goodspeed. Matthew chapter 25 and verses 41 to 46. Or chapter 25 and verses 41 to 46. Beginning at verse 41, then he will say to those that is left, Begone, you accursed people, to the everlasting fire, destined for the devil and his angels. For when I was hungry, you gave me nothing to eat, and when I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. When I was a stranger, you did not invite me home. When I had no clothes, you did not supply me. When I was sick and in prison, you did not look after me. Then they in turn will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or in need of clothes or sick or in prison and did not wait upon you? Then he will answer, I tell you, so far as you failed to do it for one of these people who are humblest, you failed to do it unto me. Then they will go away to everlasting punishment and the upright to everlasting life. There are many ways we can recast the Christian faith, and through the centuries, they have been tried. And this is a huge, huge point. We have to understand that there's a number of ways we can recast the church, the message, and ultimately the faith in different ways. The Christian faith, for example, has been cast as a great moral guide of culture and society. It becomes the bedrock of our society because it provides the moral values which we need. It can be viewed as that. It provides the means for people to live proper, upright, moral, sustainable, good lives. Think of family values. What is that? But a reflection of the idea that in the church you can find a way of life and living that is good and wholesome. The church in some denominational form is held as the identity of some culture or ethnic group. And so, we think of Dutch Reform, Serbian Orthodox, Roman Catholic in the Iberian sense. In each of these ways, the church can become subservient to the needs of the culture or ethnic group. And in that sense, the church is not about the church, it's about this group. The church has been seen as the dispenser of social services, and I've heard this of a politician, at least one politician, if not more, that if there is some great need in society, it's the goal or the work of the church to fulfill that social need. So if the government cannot afford to do it, then have the church do it. The church must always seek to rise above forces that would compromise the church by conforming it to what the world wants of it. And so what we're saying is the church has an identity, but it must not come from the world imposing on it an idea of what the church must be. It must flow organically from within what the church and the faith is. A parable like what we see at the end of Matthew chapter 25 is a challenge for the church, for it calls the church to have compassion. It calls the people of the church to be socially engaged. The evangelical church in North America has become Walmartized. Now, please do not understand this as a negative statement of Walmart. I'm not saying anything positive or negative about Walmart. In a sense, Walmart exists because of social, economic, and cultural trends that gave it rise. If it was not Walmart, it would be this or this. In other words, Walmart is the one that succeeded, but there were other potential companies or entities that would have filled the gap. It is a reflection of certain culture, social, economic trends of our era. And what I'm saying is that the church, in a sense, can become remade, repackaged, and light of the ethos, the mentality that produces a Walmart. We have come to value who and what we are by how much we sell. In essence, it is quantity, not quality, that counts in our culture. Church has become the latest organization to, as it were, embrace the big box mentality. Now, the problem with large churches is that it changes the nature of what the experience of the church is like. And I think that is basically a truism. If you have a church of 25,000, there is no way, or a church of 10,000, or even a church of 5,000, that is going to provide the same experience for parishioners as a church of 100. In a church of 100, you cannot help but get to know people. In a church of 2,000, you can exist anonymously. Now, understand, I'm making a generalization that is not true in all cases. I only know too well the problems of small churches and how they can become nasty ingrown cliques, something that is far worse than an ingrown toenail, if I could put it that way. But what I'm saying is that there is a very real danger in our embrace of the large church as the go-to model of the church. There are some great and wonderful large churches that know how to work around the problems that come with the large church or big box sort of mentality. The church is the church when we actually care for one another. It is not that large churches are bad and small churches are good. It is that the nature of people's view of the church cannot help but be different when it is large. The church is not the church when we are friendly to each other. We are not called to be, greeters. We are called to actually care for the people we worship with. There has to be a real coming together of love and concern for one another. That is the underscoring of the parable, as we talked about. Its primary focus is within the life of the community of faith, not outside. We can look at other passages to support external social ministries. Notice that in this parable, Jesus did not say that the final judgment will be based on whether you know the Nicene Creed or the Chalcedon Creed. He did not say it was based on your ability to give in correct order the 12 minor prophets of the Old Testament. He did not say it was based on your ability to prepare for Sunday morning coffee time. He did not say it was based on whether you tithe. Jesus said that the judgment to come is based on how Christian faith makes you compassionate and concerned for those whom you worship with in the life of the church. Jesus is saying you did not love your church, which is the people you worship with week after week. You did not actively engage and pour out your life for those who stood toe to toe with you in the life of faith. Did you care for the people I loved and died for?